Good afternoon. Welcome to our live class on NID Studio Test discussion, right? So let's first start with NID MDes Studio Test. So a lot of students have got their results for NID MDes, right? Written examination. So what is the next phase? Okay. So we have got a lot of queries where they talk about the phase 2 of NID, and there is a lot of confusion around this particular phase 2, because students, they have to keep in mind that this particular NID phase 2 is has more weightage than the written examination. So that's why it is extremely important that you prepare for it properly. And I hope my voice is clear to you, right? So students who have joined us, kindly give us a thumbs up so that we know that you are able to follow us. Okay, so let's see what NID Studio Test is all about. And over here, not just the MDes we are discussing, we will also be discussing about BDes. And we'll also, what is the most important key point is what we need to start doing, right, to give a head start to our NID Studio Test preparation. So first of all, what happens in this NID mains examination? So there is a studio test, there is a model making, this 3D model where you have to make, and we have personal interviews. Now personal interview is something that students of masters will be having it, and undergraduates may or may not have a personal interview, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so we, as you all know, we have come up with a lot of courses for our students, and you can find the link of the courses in our app. So you have to download KP Classes exam prep app, and over there you have to navigate through the design courses, and you will find the relevant link for studio test preparation, NID studio test preparation, NIFT situation test preparation. So whichever examination you are opting for, you can check out the course content. There will be links created, there will be small demo videos as well, you can check those. And in case you have more queries, you can always give us a call in the numbers given in the description. So please feel free to get in touch with us to know more about these examinations, right? So here we have some of the content of our studio test, which is targeted for both BDes and MDes students. Okay, so we have a whole explanation of the pattern. I won't be going through too much of pattern of the examination because it's a very lengthy thing, and it is also different for the MDes students as well as the BDes student. MDes is discipline oriented. Remember that. The MDes examination, studio test examination, is discipline oriented. That means if you have selected for product design, or you have selected for apparel design or communication, so you will be having, the examination will be conducted as per that particular domain, right? Which is not true for BDes. BDes is a common entrance exam, a common studio test for all the students, right? So we have lectures on SOPs. Now a lot of times NID might ask you for an SOP, which is statement of purpose. You remember they have asked you to write a appropriate SOP while you were filling up the forms. So they might ask you to come up with a new SOP this time as well. So we will be giving you proper training on that, helping you out and giving you feedback for the same. Then of course questions related to what do they ask in the interviews, questions related to your portfolios, and of course your portfolio generating a nice and impressive portfolio for your interview. Then of course the most important part, which you can see on your screen, which is the 3D model making, right? So we have these, various we are taking up classes where we make these models live So I have a few models with me. They are based on certain themes, right? So we also give you a complete list of material. Like I have several material along with me. I'm sitting here with my material because I have been taking these classes of late. So whatever the appropriate materials are and what quantity you will be given them, right? You won't be given too much of a particular material, so there will be a specific quantity that will be provided to you. So as per the quantity, as per the examination pattern, we will be working on this particular model making class as well. And if you are someone who is following us on Instagram, which is extremely important, because every day I am posting different models and artworks and 3Ds which have been created by our student, right? So please follow us on our Instagram handle. The description of the handles also we will be providing it to you, but for the viewers who are watching, the Instagram handle is kp_classes_design studio. So please follow us, and you can see all the visuals, all of the 3D which the students have created. Next is psychometric test and thematic appreciation test. So what are these tests? So students will be asked to do certain activity based on certain situations, right? Or maybe they will be given a certain situation. For example, if your friend is bullying other people in school, then what is it that you will do to stop it, right? So you will be given all these kind of questions to see how you react to a certain situation. Now keep that in mind that there is no right or wrong answer over here, okay? You will have to be very, very honest about your approach, and you will have to be very empathetic, okay? So any student who is appearing for these design examinations, there is an inherent quality in everybody. So one of the inherent quality of a good designer is that they are very empathetic towards what is happening around them. So if you are true to yourself, if you are somebody who really believes in all these design ideologies, then you will be very, very comfortable to come up with a certain answer to these questions, right? Then we have these thematic appreciation tests. So for example, they will give you a particular sentence, right, which will be incomplete, and you have to complete it. For example, I'm just making up this hypothetically, there can be an example. So it could be a butterfly with broken wings, right? So maybe this line is given to you, a butterfly with broken wings. Now it's up to you how you want to add up few more lines to it. Like you will be asked to complete the sentence. So it's up to you how do you want to complete it. Whether you want to say, okay, a butterfly with broken wings is sad and just sitting there in a corner and thinking about his whole life, right? Or do you want to make it in a different manner, that a butterfly with broken wings is healing now and taking the life forward in the most colorful manner, right? So quickly, in a given situation, how will you react? How will you complete that sentence? So a theme is given and you are completing it. Again, it's a very, very important exercise in terms of your psychology. They do check how do you react to a certain sentence, even if it sounds very negative. How do you want to react to it? Whether you want to react to it in a very pessimistic manner or you are very optimistic and balanced about it. And also remember, there's a very strict time constraint for these particular sort of questions, right? Okay, next is introduction to the NID Studio Test. I had already spoken a lot about it, and we will be seeing a little bit of what are we supposed to do over here. So there is an introduction of design. We all are introduced to design in the written part, but we will be introducing yourself in terms of now what is your understanding. After that you have appeared to the written examination, you have gained some sort of experience and insight into what these examinations are all about, or what the design field is all about. Now how do you view it? That sort of an introspection is something very important. Agronomics is a very important topic. Then doodling would come in your examination, and object drawing. So here I would like to show you certain things. So what exactly do we do over here is, so you all can see my screen over here. So doodling, how do we start to doodle, and what is this object drawing all about? So like I keep telling students that once you are done with your written examination, don't stop observation exercises or sketching exercises. Something of this sort needs to be done, in a consistent basis. So we'll see some of the doodling exercises that we will be, introducing to our students. So to start with, it is extremely important that you have ample amount of practice in terms of what doodling is. So for example, if you have been provided with a small box, okay, and maybe you have a line like this, okay, then there's another box. There are multiple doodling boxes, okay, remember that. There are multiple boxes. And you have to get into the habit of working on these things. So I'm just very randomly drawing certain lines, and over here I'm telling you how to build up the doodles, because you would not have so much time to think. So what do we do over here? So I hope this is visible to you right now. So I have these lines drawn. Again, there is I don't have any thought process in terms of what I'm drawing or what it is or something. So just very randomly I'm drawing few elements. Okay, now is the trick. So when you see these sort of doodles, you must be thinking that, oh God, what do I do? The whole idea is that you don't see things around you. What do you have? The next question is, do we really have to have a theme for each and every doodle or not? So let's see what we do. So I have 4 of these boxes and we have to make doodles. So I'll just see what I can do in terms of these doodles. Okay. So while I am working on these doodles, I am trying to create certain recognizable shapes or things that I have seen around me. Now you just need a little bit of awareness in terms of these things, right? And doodle is all about generating ideas very quickly. Okay, so once I'm done with it, maybe I can, you know, very well see what sort of thought process I have worked on. Okay, so right now, as you can see, I'm adding up elements. I'm going on adding up elements. Like this circle was the original one. Now I'm just adding up more and more elements. Okay, so in my first box I have created a lot of post-its, sheets, stationery items, you know, board pens and all. In my second box I have this circle, so I quickly made a symbol of search. So these are the mostly symbols that we see on any streaming software, right? Or maybe on the computers. We have this window, we have, when we open Zoom, we see the, you know, camera off, camera on, and, you know, moving forward, backward, adding people, recycle bin. So these are the symbols that I created just thinking about the streaming softwares and all, right? So this is how you will have to be very, very quick in your thinking. So look at observation, observe things around you, what you have, what sort of a chair you are sitting, what sort of a gadget are you using, and put them into categories, and then try and create those doodles. So these doodles are a group of ideas that you are putting together, right? As a design student, you have to gather those sort of information, right? So how do you gather information? You gather information by more and more working on it, by more and more doing things. Okay, so like right now, since I am in a environment where there are a lot of stationery items, where I'm using the online platform, so my ideas and my thoughts are very much related to what I have at present over here. Now imagine if I'm sitting in a zoo, then what will happen? Then maybe my doodles will comprise of patterns of an animal skin, or maybe patterns of some leaf, trees. I would make I would make things that I am seeing around at that particular place. If I'm sitting in a garden, if I'm sitting in a say shopping mall and outside a food court, then maybe my ideas would comprise of different food items that I'm seeing over there, right? So your thought process will always be absolutely inspired by what is happening around you. So that's something which is very important. All the students who are into the design field, it is very important that you create a structure, you create a environment which is helping you to think. Okay, so this is one of the things that will help you be very aware about what is happening around you and things like that, and that's how you will be able to create interesting stuff. Okay, so this is one of my tips that I wanted to give to you all, right? Because I have seen a lot of students, they struggle with these sort of doodles and idea generations and all. So think about an environment. Like for example, I have this particular line over here. Now what sort of an environment do I want to portray, or what is the theme that is going on in my mind? So depending on that, if I have nothing in my mind, what if I just try and create a particular pattern, right? So somewhere or the other you will be able to create some thought process or certain ideas over here, right? And gradually it can start making sense. So you have to put ideas, you have to start scribbling, you have to see what is happening around you, and that's how it would help you to create these doodling exercises. Also please remember that there will be a lot of time constraint in terms of these doodlings. You will be getting a lot of doodles, but you will have to be under certain time constraint, right? So again, the end note over here is that you need to always practice. Give yourself some time, give yourself, always say every day you give yourself half an hour to practice doodling, to practice object drawing, right? Oh yes, now as we talk about object drawing, so what sort of object drawing does come in Studio Test in NID? Do you have any idea? So you won't be asked to draw anything directly. You might be given some sort of object. So for example, I have this object over here, right? So what if you get this object but inside a bag, like inside a black bag, where you just have to, you know, close your eyes. I mean, I'm closing the eyes right now, but you might have to just insert your hands inside the bag and you have to feel it. Okay, like right now I'm just feeling what exactly this particular thing is. So as soon as I press it, I would know, okay, this is paper clip. So now from the memory of what this paper clip would look like, you have to draw it. Okay, so it's up to you. I mean, for this definitely you have to do a lot of practice at home, and also not just looking at an object. Okay, not just looking at an object randomly, but also feeling it, you know, see the tactile quality of this particular object, okay, of how this particular object would look in a particular angle. And my suggestion to you guys is, whenever you get a question like this where you have to draw the particular object without looking at it and just by feeling it, always go for multiple angles. Okay, there is no restriction in terms of how many angles do I have to make. You can always go for multiple angles, imagine it from different angle, and you have to draw at least 2-3 angles of it. The more you draw, the better it is. Again, depends upon the time constraint. You might just get 10 minutes to do this. You might just get 15 minutes to do this. So depending on that, you need to make multiple sketches. So for example, if you have got a pencil in the bag, so you are touching the pencil, and as soon as you touch the pencil, you know that, oh, this is a particular pencil. So what do we do? Do we just draw one particular sketch of a pencil, we all know what a pencil would look like, so it becomes a little more easier for you to draw it. But my suggestion is that draw at least different angles of that particular product that has been given to you. Right? And do the shading if you are aware of what the shading would look like, and if you are aware about the textures, and also include the texture depending upon the time frame. Now, how do we achieve this? There's just one way of doing it, that is practice. Observe and practice, observe and practice, right? Like few years back, students were given a 3-pin plug. Okay, we already are aware what a 3-pin plug would look like. So I had suggested my students beforehand only that in case you are getting these sort of questions where you have to draw a particular object in without looking at it, just by touching it and feeling it, always remember to give multiple angles. It's always important that you give multiple angles to that particular object. It just makes your sketch look more authentic. Okay, so just I'm doing very quick sketches of that, so you do need to practice accordingly. And as I told you, it's always advisable that you make multiple angles of the same thing. Got it? So next is, let's see what do we have in our curriculum. So if you have not yet downloaded our app, please do download the app. You will get a complete link and the complete details regarding the courses that we are offering for NID Studio Test, both MDes as well as BDes. Yes, then we have futuristic design, where we make certain concepts, where we work on certain concepts of 3D model making, and we come up with certain futuristic products as per the past year questions. Then of course we have portfolio discussions and portfolio feedback session, right? We guide the students, we give them tips regarding how the portfolio needs to be created. We have recorded lectures also, and we have discipline wise portfolios for each and every student. So a student who is appearing for product design, their portfolio will be different from a student who is appearing for, say, communication design, right? Goes without saying. You have to concentrate on the discipline that you are working on, and also add up things that you have done in your past. Okay. Then of course interview. This is something very, very important, that what sort of questions will be put up to a student. So again, it is very, very customized. Every student is different. Every student has a different take on a particular subject, right? So accordingly their interview will come in. So for example, if somebody is from the textile background and is opting for product design, so their interview will be all around what they have done in the past, why they want to switch from textile to product, these sort of questions. Somebody who is an architect by profession and now wants to pursue masters in design, then their interview will obviously be around the subject that they had studied in their undergraduate program. Okay, and of course adding to this, the panelists would also like to know what sort of a person you are. So knowing your background, knowing your shortcomings, knowing your strengths and weaknesses is something which is which will add up to your work. Also, there are chances that you might have group discussions also. So we do prepare our students from group discussions also, although this year, every year it's little different. So accordingly, we prepare the students. Then, of course, there are a lot of reference videos. There are material handling videos. There are videos of the live classes that we will be giving to our students, right? Then these are the different disciplines that we will be working on. All of you are aware about the different disciplines that we have for our students, and we will be giving the classes accordingly. Okay. So tips for solving studio tests. So quickly let's look at what are the tips. As I told you, first of all is the doodling test, very important. So yes, practice a lot of doodling. Then students are also required to complete certain models. Okay, so material manipulation is something very important, right? Over here I would also like to show you some of the material that we will be working on. Okay, so as you can see, there are different material, like we have these ropes. So different techniques, we can work on different techniques using ropes, using cords. We have our very important material, which is the clay. You will be given a little amount of clay to create certain things. Then this is already, I have used this up, but yes, metal wire, transparent sheets, right? Corrugated sheet. This is a corrugated sheet. I created this particular model where there is a little fairy dancing around butterflies and certain trees and all. So this was just a very abstract sort of a model that I had created. NID also wants you to make a lot of functional models. So for example, I'll show you. Right now I have stuck this, but if you see, this particular model could be achieved by, even if you're not using glue, this could be detached because it has been slit and it has been inserted. So these sort of techniques are very important, because at times they say that you have to create a model where you are not using glue. So these sort of techniques we will be working on using cardboards, using paper, right? Origami is something again very useful. Then there is this another technique. We all have seen these sort of boxes, right? So how we can create certain boxes where we are not using glue, right? So these sort of things we come up with, and I ask students to work on, where you are creating 3D models and you are not using glue, right? So again, a very common thing in NID that they would ask students to do. Then again, using different type of papers, how to manipulate papers, using gateway sheets. Like this is the gateway sheet, which is semi-transparent. This is also something very versatile and can be manipulated in many ways. So yes, these are certain things that we will be doing in our studio test and material handling classes. So we will be doing it live for our students. So anybody who feels that they need that extra practice and they want to learn in terms of what is going to be asked in NID, so yes, you can always get in touch with us, right? For the time being, it's very advisable for students that you take small quantity of clay and you create miniature models of, say for example, shoes, right? Small utensils. Try to create a story around it. For example, you created a table of cardboard, and then from your memory and observation you can put a lot of accessories on the table, like for example a barber shop, So what all do we have on the tabletop of a barber shop? So you can create those small accessories using clay, right? So these are the few things that is important for students who are appearing for NID Studio Test. So it's a lot of things development as well. So this is something that I cannot show you right now, because in the sensory activities we generally do activities like the students will be we make the students hear certain sounds and they have to write down what the sound is, or maybe listening those sounds create a story, right? Say for example, the sound of a bell ringing, then coins falling, then maybe somebody opening a door using a key. So you think about those sounds and you create a story. Or maybe we show you a visual, a small movie clip, and then we ask you to create a poster for this particular movie, or anything related to that particular visual we can ask you. So these are certain sensory experiences that students will be having during the examination, and they will be asked questions based on that, right? So all of this will be done for our live online classes and our offline classes. You can get in touch with us. You can also go on to our app and check out the availability of the courses. The link of these courses will also be given in the description of this particular video. Get in touch with us and get to know more about Studio Test in case you have more queries. Okay, I hope this particular session was useful for you. I'm ending this session for today. I'll be coming up with more sessions accordingly, which will be useful for you in terms of if anybody has applied for NIFT, NID, CEED, UCEED. We also have a lot of counseling sessions going on for our CEED students. CEED results were out, and at present the students are applying for various colleges. So we are helping them out with the application process. Like say the IITs, they have a separate set of assignments for the application process also. So you, along with the application, you have to also submit certain assignments. So we are helping students out with that. So if you are somebody who's looking for some extra help as well as some guidance, so you can always get in touch with us. Okay, thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you in our next live session.